Star Wars The Bad Batch is a Star Wars spin-off show about Clone Force 99, which is a squad of clones that has mutations that gave them special abilities like a better strength or a better intelligence. The first season started on May the 4th, 2021, and it included 16 episodes. Personally, I loved the first season. I liked how the characters adapted to the aftermath of Order 66. I liked the different vision that each character has about it, especially how different Crosshair saw this event compared to the rest of his squad. It was a really cool follow to the end of Clone Wars, which is my favorite Star Wars show. During the first season, we follow the Bad Batch surviving during the rise of the Empire. They meet Omega, another clone that is different in some way.
What do you mean by that?
Not gonna lie, she was annoying at first, but I started to enjoy her character more during the later episodes and especially during season 2. Throughout the first season, they accept contracts and they accomplish missions that give them credits. The missions aren't my favorite part of the show. I like the action sequences, but it isn't something I'm looking forward to when I'm watching an episode of The Bad Batch, you know? What I like to watch is how the squad evolves at the same time as the Empire does. I know Star Wars doesn't have a good history with politics because of the prequels, but personally, I believe it is important to the Star Wars lore to know how politics works in the galaxy. And to see the Bad Batch being chased by the Empire while their system grows is just enjoyable. When the missions get boring, the writers bring back characters from different Star Wars shows, and I know that is a fan service and that they shouldn't abuse it. But in The Bad Batch, I don't mind the fan service if it's well written. Now, let's make a jump in time to today. Season 2 is over. What was different from Season 1? Was it better or worse? Let's talk about it. A couple of months after Season 1, we followed the Bad Batch doing a risky heist, and from then on, the problems started. This is the beginning of Season 2. This season is mostly the squad doing missions again, but this time, somehow, the writers managed to make it less interesting than in Season 1, in my opinion. They stopped giving as much fan service as in Season 1, and as much as it is a good thing, personally, what I liked about the episodes of the first season is that we get to see old characters come back and interact with the squad. In the newest season, it's pretty much all new characters, except Gunji. They show up pretty much during maximum 2 episodes and we never talk about them again. I don't like shows doing that. Ironic of me to say because the Clone Wars is my favorite Star Wars show, but whatever, I'll keep my clown makeup on me while I continue to talk. I believe Season 2 has become uninteresting. Some parts were really cool, but most of them just felt like filler, but with a little bit of character development. But we don't just follow the Bad Batch during this season, but we also follow Crosshair's story with the Empire, and not gonna lie, I love his character development. He was probably the star of this season with Omega in my opinion. The newest character that was the most interesting in my opinion is Dr. Hemlock. I loved his character. I like how he speaks 24/7 with an ASMR voice. Somebody should create a Dr. Hemlock ASMR YouTube channel. Anyways, he has been introduced as the main villain of this season and probably of the next one too. I'm excited to see where his character will go and will evolve with the Empire. Also, to be completely honest, I forgot about the rest of the season. It wasn't as memorable as the first one. I just hope Season 3 won't disappoint and that it will be more interesting than this season we just had. The characters are pretty much the same one as in Season 1. We got the OG Bad Batch squad with Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, Echo, and Omega. OG characters returned, like Sid. But we meet new characters in this season that aren't really there for that long. Their arc ends after like 2 episodes, like I said, and they're never mentioned again. Their only purpose is for the story of the Bad Batch to continue. I wish some of them could have ended up in some useful things at the end of the season, but no, we only see them in their episodes, so it's kinda sad. Now, in the OG squad, I find it sad that Tech had to go this fast. My boy deserved better. Hunter and Wrecker didn't have a memorable character development, and I don't even think they had one. The ones that were memorable for me were obviously Crosshair and Omega. Crosshair started the season with the Empire and ended it as a lab rat by the Empire on experiments of cloning because he betrayed the Empire because of what they did to the clone. Hey, it's Max the editor here. I was trying to say that Crosshair became a lab rat for the Empire. Yeah, it took me that long to explain only that. I'm sorry about that. Go back to the video now. It was a really impactful change of mind and I loved it. On the other hand, Omega started the season by learning things from the squad and she ended the season by using the things she learned by the squad to help the squad. I still don't understand what I'm saying right now. Also, Sid has become one of the characters that I hate the most in the Star Wars universe. I hate what she did to the Bad Batch at the end, and that shows how selfish of a character she was and that she always has been this way. But we already knew that anyway. It wasn't surprising. Well done by the writers for that. Finally, Dr. Hemlock has a big potential in the future of this universe. In my opinion, he can pull the strings on many aspects of the scientific system of the Empire, and cloning has been established as the new main story arc, if you get me, since The Mandalorian Season 1. Well, technically, it has been established since The Rise of Skywalker, but let's not talk about it. Nobody liked it, the move. Now that we have talked more about this new season, let's mention the good parts and the bad parts, in my opinion. What I liked about this new season is the introduction of Dr. Hemlock and his project. I wish it could have been more present because I feel like they spent 16 episodes trying to introduce it. We still don't even know what his ambitions are, but we still got a little idea, you know, because of that movie. Yeah. Also, I love the character development in this season, especially Crosshair's. It was interesting to see how he changed his mind about the Empire because of what they did to the clones. It's cool to see him change like that. Some characters' returns were cool, like Gunji or the Emperor. Oh my god, I was so hyped when I saw the Emperor. His speech gave me literal chill. I'm not even joking. Finally, I loved to see the transition from the clones to the stormtroopers. I believe it needed to be shown in my opinion because we've never really explored it that much in a TV show or in a movie. It was more in the comics, I believe. But now we understand the transition better and that's really cool. Now let's talk about what I disliked about this new season, or maybe what I liked less, you know. I found this new season to be boring. Let me explain. 16 episodes and I feel like they are majorly all fillers in their own way. The missions were not interesting and didn't change anything about how the story went. I could have skipped some episodes and I still would understand the story that happened. Some characters were also uninteresting, like the ones in the mines. I didn't really care about them. They didn't impact the show that much. On a lot of episodes, I found myself on my cell phone because of how boring some of them were. Who would have thought that TikTok would be more interesting than a Star Wars show? And finally, I feel like the ending was disappointing. I didn't feel any satisfaction after watching 16 episodes of The Bad Batch. It was just teasing more future things than concluding what happened during this season. Even if I'm hyped for the future seasons, I'm sad about how it ended. Tech didn't deserve it. He should have died in a more sacrifice way to die, you know? Because I feel like he died because the writers wanted him to die some way. As much as I was bored by season 2, I'm still a fan of the show. I still like the characters in the series and the teasings they made for the next season hyped me. I loved season 1. I hope they will make something as good as it was in the future. I am a big Star Wars fan and I watch everything about it, even the bad ones. And The Bad Batch is underrated in my opinion. It isn't incredible, but it isn't bad neither. It has so much potential and I hope my boy Dave Filoni will arrange it in the future. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in another bad critic of mine.